Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. There's one person watching, so I hope you are doing well, whoever's watching. This is Jason Robinson, Illustration by Design, and this is a Insomniac stream. It is about 1:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. What's today? What's the date? It's May 7th. It's been a while since I last did a live stream. That was a short little commercial for Secret Comics Presents, the horror anthology comic I did last year, and there's still copies available. Just go down in the description below this video, and you can click the link and buy some signed copies. You can also buy copies with a drawing by me if you want one. So just click the link and check it out. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing some lettering for Nasser's upcoming comic book, Nasser Rabadi. In case you don't know, Nasser Rabadi is a writer and author, a pain in the butt, but he's putting out yet another comic book. This one is called Creepsters and is a horror comic, and it's sort of in the vein of Gremlins or what some of the '80s horror movies. And so it's part comedy, part horror, and it's coming out fairly soon. I mean, it's scheduled to come out in October, but everything's finished. The writing's done, the art is done. All that's left is lettering, which I'm doing, and then laying everything out and then sending it to the printer, which I'm also doing. Um, so I'm trying to get that done. Hopefully, I'll get it done in the next 2 weeks, and then after that, we'll go to the printer and then into the hands of everybody who bought it. So if you have not bought a copy of Creepsters, again, go down below in the description, and there's a link to the crowdfunding campaign where you can buy a copy, and you do that. Once the book goes to the printers, we will send you your very own copy of Creepsters. So, with that said, I'm gonna get back to lettering, and just trying to get this stuff done. There are 86 pages to this comic book, so there's a lot of pages to letter. But you can watch, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing another lettering live stream, but I'll probably be explaining more of what I'm doing, how I'm lettering. Tonight I'm just going to be doing it. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be here. Well, this won't be a long stream. It'll probably be an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But if you have any questions about what I'm doing, just feel free to ask, and I'll be here. Okie doke. Let's see. This is a scene where two of the people in the book are at a fair and they're having fun, and then I'm sure something horrible will happen to them since it is a horror comic book. But you'll just have to buy the comic to find out. Hey, Eric Hawkins. Eric Hawkins is the one and only creator of the Zombie Full World of Oz, and Eric Hawkins is currently selling the Zombie Full World of Oz. I think it's issue 4. He's selling it on Kickstarter. So if Eric would be so kind, please post a link to your Kickstarter campaign. And Eric always puts out books on time, and they're fun books. And check it out. They're a good price, and they're in color, so that's a plus. So check out Eric Hawkins' Zombie Full World of Oz. Now let's see here. I know I have some music. I just have to find it somewhere around here.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle. It's dramatically new, made possible only through years of research, invention, and innovation.
Now the program that I'm doing the lettering in is Illustrator. So um, all this text you see here is I copy and pasted from Nasser's story, and then I bring it into Illustrator, and then from that point on, I start futzing with it to get it ready for the layout. So
Sounding like this.
let's see here. pop out the chat so I can see if anyone's here while I'm drawing. Eric says, yeah, it's issue 4, and there's only 36 hours left to go. So everybody, hurry up and go buy Zombie for World of Oz. Eric says, I was just going to ask what program you're using. Yeah, it is Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. So basically what I do is I do the text in Adobe Illustrator, and then I export it as an EPS file into InDesign for the final layout. I won't be doing that part yet, but tonight. But that's what I do eventually. And actually, if I zoom out of Illustrator, so you can see everything, let me zoom out. There you go. See, this is all 86 pages, and each page gets its own artboard in Illustrator, and I just sort of go through the whole thing, and you know, start dropping in the text, putting it where it belongs. When I first drop it in, it's just, let me zoom in here. See, it's just text, and it's just dropped in there. This is before I start, sort of working on it to make it look like, the proper place for all of the, like this big block of text here. I'll break this up so it reads better when it's in the final layout. So, this is the initial stage, and then from this point here, I go to this stage here where I actually start breaking up the text, putting it next to the people who are actually speaking the text, putting it in the best place where it can be readable but still unobtrusive, or as unobtrusive as possible, and so the reader is able to follow it. So you read this, then you go to here, then you go to here, then you go to here, and then from here you go to here, and then down to here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then next page. So Eric Hawkins says, wow, very cool. I use Clip Studio to letter. This looks better. Well, you probably do something very similar with Clip Studio. I've never used it, but I tend to use the this is sort of the old school, not really old school, because old school is hand lettering, but quasi old school lettering from from when computer lettering first came out back in the 90s. You had to do the lettering in one program, then you had to do the layout in a second program. So that's the way I learned it. So I still do my lettering in Illustrator. I'm assuming with Clip Studio, you can do all that stuff in the same program. So if you can, that's awesome. But this is just the way I do it. And it tends to be pretty efficient. Everything's on separate layers. Like I have, I'll show you. Like here's a sound effect right here. Here's another sound effect here. I have the sound effects on a separate layer. So you'll have, like if I turn off just the lettering itself, see that stuff will, let me zoom in again so you guys can see better. See, I turn off the special effects, sound effects. So they go off and on like that. The actual lettering, the actual word balloons, they're on a separate layer like that. And then another layer, separate layer, is the artwork here. So everything's on a separate layer, so I don't get either confused or I don't mess something up by accident. So that's I try to be somewhat organized, but it's not super duper organized. Just organized enough so I don't get lost. Okay. I see. There we go. Let's see. Eric Hawkins says, "Is that EVS being slapped?" Yes, it is. I didn't find that out until today, actually. Where is it? Yeah, that's that's EVS being being manhandled by the boyfriend. So actually, Nasser has instructed the artist, and I'm not the artist. Nasser's instructed the artist to put a number of people associated with Comicsgate in the book, and I've been working on this for for several days, and I had no idea. And I've gone through the whole book, sort of looking at it. I had no idea that who these people were supposed to be until Nasser told me, and then once he told me, I was like, "Oh yeah, that is him." It's like it's terrible. Nasser is. Eric Hawkins says, and those gave it away. Yeah, I mean, now that I look at it, yeah, I see it, but I didn't notice it until Nasser until Nasser mentioned it in his live stream today. So I was like, what? And before, instead of shove, I had the sound effect being pie, but I changed that. So yeah, but yeah, it's actually it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I was wondering why this guy is being so mean to this poor carnival barker, um, but yeah, that sort of explained it. No, sir, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. Make sure that's yeah, with that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, sweet pie! Someone shoved me. Precisely. You should have said something like Betty Crocker. Sweet Betty Crocker. What happened? What the heck? Ah, no wonder it's on the wrong. It's doing. Let me fix that. It's like, why isn't that on the right layer? There we go. Hmm. Hey, Helen Cole, how you doing? Good seeing you. Thanks for joining my Insomniac stream. I'm glad you joined the rest of us Insomniacs to watch me letter a comic book. Hope you're doing well. Oh, cool. Awesome. Eric Hawkins says I'm up in the middle of the night as well, working on a 40-page coloring book for someone. Almost done. Phew. That's awesome. Very cool. What's the coloring book about, if I may ask? If it's not a top secret, which it might be, I don't know. I finished watching Moon Knight this week on from Disney Plus, I guess from Marvel rather, but I guess that's part of Disney. So same thing. But finished watching all 6 episodes this week, and it was okay. It wasn't. It's just it was confusing, and a little. They wrapped things up, but it was a little um, anticlimactic in a sense. Um, I guess I was expecting something more, and I didn't think it quite delivered. It was interesting. It was an interesting show, but it was it was a show that had a lot of plot holes in it, and unfortunately, I mean, some of them were tightened up, but it was only as a result of the very last after credit scene in the final episode, and without that brief like 3 minute scene, that the show would have been kind of a total loss. So, um, it was scale 1 to 10. I'd probably give it a 5. Could have been much stronger. Um, Eric Hawkins says his coloring books is based on a novel series of an author I know, Guardians of Sanctuary. Oh, neat. That's very cool. And Eric Hawkins says I love Moon Knight. Okay, good. I'm glad you liked it. I thought I thought it started off really really strong, but as I watched more of it, as each episode went by, I was just more and more questions came up, and the more questions that came up, and the fewer episodes that were left in the series, the more problematic it became for me because there were just more questions and they weren't answering any of the questions. And it slowly went from 3 to 2 to 1 episode left. And I was like, okay, this is the last episode. They better answer like all these questions or this this series is a fail for me. And I got to the end of the episode and they still hadn't answered 90% of the questions they had left open. I was like, this what was the point of this series? Because it didn't answer any of the questions that the series set up. And then finally, after the end credits, they had a final like 2 or 3 minute scene. And fortunately, that last scene answered probably 60 to 70% of the holes in the narrative. Um, but without that scene, for me, there was no point to the series. It's like, why even have the series if you're not going to answer any of these questions? But um, Helen Cole says, an Insomniac stream is such a great idea. I wish I was doing something productive like you guys, just vegging out, watching TV. That's very productive, Helen Cole. So do not knock yourself for not, having a live stream or anything. I, I I'm just doing this because I'm doing it anyway. And I haven't live streamed in about 2 weeks. So I figured, well, not that many people are up. So I might as well, live stream myself, sort of putting in some of this text. So, but, I'd actually probably much rather be watching TV and vegging out. Unless this is, I mean, this is light work. I mean, I always tell people that for me personally, I find lettering to be like the easiest part of making a comic book. Drawing is tough, inking is tough, coloring is really tough, writing is tough, but lettering, I mean, it's like everything's done for you. I mean, all I'm doing is basically just copying and pasting, and then there's, I mean, there's some work in it, but out of all the sort of pieces of the puzzle that come with making a comic book, lettering is the least sort of um, it's the least hard. It's pretty easy. You just have to follow some rules. So to keep it to make the lettering look decent. Like for instance, for instance, let me backtrack here. Okay. You got. Let me backtrack again. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, here we go. You got the text here. You got some comic book lettering. Um, what is this? This is Wild and Crazy. That's the name of this font. So you put the font down. You get an ellipse. You plop down the ellipse. Fill it with white. Have a white back. Have a black border around it, and then you got the lettering there. And you could just do this, and then put a tail on it to show this guy's talking. Boink, 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 boink. Okay, and that could be it. That's you can say, okay, I'm done. Oops, actually, yeah, you can do that and fuse these two together and say, bam, I'm done. Okay, that's fine, but it's gonna look clunky to the eyes, so you have to do like some minor things to it, like let's see, like let me start cleaning this up. Got an extra point there. All right, now if you look closely, if you just do that, that's okay. But if you look closely, see that? You got that little flat thing right there. That's going to show up when it's printed. You don't want that. So you have to do more stuff to it to make it look better, better. So, for instance, you have to take the lines and sort of round out all the corners. So instead of this flat area, you get a rounded area. So that keeps things from messing up when it's printed. Also, let me zoom out a little. Yeah, this perfect ellipse. The perfect ellipse is fine, but it's also kind of boring. And so to make the word balloons look more interesting to the eye, you stretch them out a little, like that, and like that, and like that, and like that. And that's to sort of simulate the traditional hand drawn lettering from days gone by. So it's just small things like that to create sort of visual interest to your lettering. Lettering is fairly simple, but there are some things that you have to do to tweak it and make it look better. So and also make sure that your line is thick enough. Um, I usually use a 1.5 point line for all my word balloons, just so it's a little thicker than the type itself. And again, that just creates some visual interest. And make sure that you don't have any extra spaces in here, so everything's centered. And again, it, it, the basics are fairly simple. It's just a tweaking that requires a little more time, a little more thought, and that's it. Jeff Potts is here. How are you doing, Jeff Potts? Um, Helen Cole says maybe instead I'll decorate a pass along journal I need to send out. Oh, cool. Oh, good. You guys are inspiring me to be productive. I have no idea what a pass along journal is, but it sounds really neat. Eric Hawkins says copy and paste and add bubbles and tails. Yeah, those are the basics. So, and then the rest is just sort of window dressing. But it makes the lettering look much better. The window dressing. And again, you have to sort of make sure that the word balloon has enough space around the actual text. You don't want too much space like this, and you don't want too little space like that. You have to find that Goldilocks sort of spot where the the dialogue has some air around it. Eric Hawkins says, Helen, nothing wrong with vegging out. That is true. Uh, Helen asks, sorry I missed it, but what series were you talking about? Sounds frustrating. And then they realized they forgot to answer the question, so they threw up a clip at the end. So funny. Oh, it was Moon Knight. Moon Knight. It's a Marvel Universe TV series that's on Disney Plus, and it was 6 episodes. It ended this past Wednesday. Helen says, thanks, guys, for the validation. No problem. I am an expert at vegging out. Helen Cole says, so satisfying to watch you do this stuff that I haven't quite learned yet. You explain things so well. Okay, thanks. I usually just, I try not to babble too much. Hopefully, it's in my head. I'm trying to get it out of my mouth so that it makes sense, like it does in my head. Sometimes it doesn't work. Jeff Pond says, I think all your dialogue should be in wingdings. That would be awesome. I want to do all the text in hobo or banco, but Nasser said no, unfortunately. Eric Hawkins says, cool, we lettered just about the same. Now I feel like I'm doing it right. Ha, or you're doing it all wrong. Hmm. Could be either or. Hmm. Hmm. Well, there's a shortcut to do that. Just curious, curious.
We don't know. All we got are suspects. My job, find out who.
Graph, no. Path, no. Outline, simplify. Merge? Is there a merge thing here? No. Sorry, I'm just sort of scrolling through the. I'll worry about that later. All right. I think I got that.
My job, find out who.
Let's see. Eric Hawkins says, Jeff, Blambot has a very cool cursing font. Every letter is a symbol for cursing. Oh. Yeah, Blambot has some great fonts. What's the other one? There's another um, website that has really good fonts. That's where I got this font from. I didn't get it from Blambot. I got it from I got it back in the '90s, years ago. What company was that? Um, Hold on, let me check. Lettering website comics. Um, what's the name of that website? Blambot's popular, but there's another one. Ah, shoot. My memory is Comic Craft. That's it. That's where I got um, this dialogue font from. It's called Comic Craft. COMICRAFT. Actually, I'll just put in the. That's not right. Is that it? No, it's not it either. What the what the frick? Comic Craft. Let me Google it. Oh, there it is. Okay. No wonder. Had the website wrong. Eric Hawkins says we're about the same age. I figured it was Comic Craft. Yeah. Sorry about that. and they add the website wrong as well. There it is. It's in the chat. Hey, John Dillard. John Dillard says the font because John Dillard likes free fonts. But yeah, the font is very good. So if you want some free fonts, go to the font. But Blambot and Comic Craft also have extremely good fonts. And actually, Blambot and Comic Craft are probably more professional in the sense that they're very professionally well kerned and leaded, and everything's all tightened up, so you have to do less work, which is good. Ryan Cardinal's here. How you doing, Ryan Cardinal? He says, "Do you know about Comic Craft's one-day sale? Unfortunately, it's only on New Year's Day, and all their crazy expensive fonts go on sale for the price of the year. So I guess New Year's Day next year they'll be what, $20.23 each. Is that it? Interesting. Yeah, some of these fonts can be pretty expensive. But I mean, usually, like I think on Blambot, the fonts are only like $20 each around. They're not too expensive, but Comic Craft I think is more expensive. Let me check. How expensive are their fonts? And they got tons of them. I mean, most of the comic book companies like Marvel and DC, they've been using Comic Craft for decades. Um, oh my gosh, dang, whoa, yeah, these fonts are expensive. It's like like $139 for each font. Holy mackerel! Yeah, I think I would buy it on those days. What? Yeah, when I bought Wild and Crazy, is this Wild and Crazy? When I bought Wild and Crazy, it was like back in the mid '90s, maybe '95 or something. It maybe cost what, $15? This Wild and Crazy? Let me check. Now it's selling for 139. That's insane. Yeah, actually, when I got the fonts, they came on those 3.5 inch discs. It wasn't even a CD. It was like an old fashioned computer disc you stick in an IBM computer. It wasn't quite a 5.5 inch disc, but it was those other ones where you had to. Did you have to? No, you didn't have to put the tape over the notch. There was like a little button that you had to push over to make sure that you didn't overwrite the data. Let me see. Wild and Crazy. Is that on here? Nope. Let's try again. Wild and Crazy. Maybe they discontinued it. Well, they still have the Zap Pack. That's about the same price, I think. Is it? Yeah, it is. It's the same price. It's around. It's like $29, so it hasn't gone up that much. If you get the Wild and Crazy Zap Pack, that's the same stuff that I'm using on this. Actually, on all my comics. And it's a very basic font. You can use. It has it in bold here. It has it in just standard, and it's just a really good generic font to use. And like I said, I've been using it since the mid '90s. It's very useful. Alpha Process looks like it takes money to make money. Sometimes, I mean, you need to buy a computer. That takes money. That's probably the most expensive thing you have. And then you have to buy software like Illustrator. That's also expensive. And you have to buy fonts. Or nowadays you can download free fonts. So the fonts are, you know, could be expensive or they could be free, just depending on where you find them. Alpha Pro says floppy disk. It was not quite a floppy disk. It was a hard plastic disk. Floppy disk is one of those 5.5 inch discs, the big ones that you would use in your old IBM PCs back in the early to mid '80s. Helen Cole says, "Well, those fonts better do the dishes too at that price. Seriously, that's pretty nuts. $139 for a font. I'm not paying that. Sorry. I'm sorry. I will find a free font on the interwebs, even if it doesn't have the best kerning or leading. So Alpha Pro says, I just like saying floppy. I wish I could make my own fonts, but from my experience, that is easier said than done. Yeah, I thought about doing it, and you can do it. They used to have a program called Fontographer, um, and that was from the creators of Freehand, and it wasn't Adobe. Freehand was a competitor with Illustrator, and then Adobe bought Freehand and discontinued it because they wanted to focus on Illustrator. They sort of screwed them over. But I think it was Macromedia. Macromedia was a company, and they're the ones who created Fontographer. But Fontographer is long gone. Um, I'm not sure how you would make fonts now. Well, I do know. You would make an Illustrator. You would draw it by hand, draw the fonts by hand, and then you would. I'm not sure how you would do it though. I know you would trace it in Illustrator, but from that point on, I'm not sure what you would do. What was cool about Fontographer was that Fontographer had whole setups of alphabets where you could like draw the letter A and then drop that vector art of the letter A into the A slot. Then you write the letter B, and then you would trace it in I assume with Illustrator, and then drop that vector tracing into the B slot, and so on. And so it would organize it really well, and then from that point on, Fontographer would do the hard work of creating an entire alphabet, a workable alphabet, so you could use it as a font. I don't know how it did it, and like I said, Fontographer I don't think it's still around. I think they discontinued that when Macromedia went out of business, but I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Ryan Cardinal says Microsoft has a free font making app. No idea if it's any good. Yeah, maybe that's how people do it nowadays. I don't know. Helen Cole says, I think I remember those discs where they like CDs but smaller and you could put them in a CD-ROM drive. No, Helen. The I guess if you don't remember them, you might. I don't want to say you're too young, but they they weren't like CDs. Basically, they were shaped like, how do I describe it? Hold on one second. Let's see. That I'm messing up everything. Yeah, have it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Let me see if I can. I'm sort of fumbling around here. Give me a second. Please hold. Let's see here. It's StreamYard. Let's see. Let me put this over here. Oh, there I am. Hi. Hi, everybody. Now let's see if I can see if this works. I apologize if this screws up the screen a little. Oh, can you see that? There we go. You can kind of see stuff. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can't see it. Hold on. Let's see if I can. How do I do this so you guys can see it without seeing me? Because I'm very shy. You guys see? You can kind of see it. Wait. I know what I'm doing wrong. I don't have the. There we go. Let's see. Close your eyes. It's going to be bright. That's very bright. I know. I warned you. I told you it's going to be very bright. Hold on. There. Can you see that? This is a quote unquote floppy disk. It's not floppy. This is a 3.5-inch disk, old school from the late 80s, 90s. And, has this part up here where the actual disk is exposed inside that small slot right there. and it has a protective hard plastic case. And then on the back, it has this little button. Oops, this little button. Let me move it over here so you're not blinded. There's this little button right here. You can't really see it, but you open and close it, and that allows you to write and protect the information on the disk. So it's one of those quasi old school 3.5 inch floppy disks. So, and this is where, I would get all my software before they had streaming, or, you just have to get like, 3, 4, or 5 of these disks in the mail, and then you shove it into your computer and download the information. So, the good old days. All right, that's enough. Boom. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's see here. Zook. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Let's see. Alpha says that holds like 4 MB. Actually, it holds. I think it only holds one megabyte. Actually, each one of those disks. Um, Diller says Jiminy is a man of culture. He is unfamiliar with the terms floppier and thinner. Yes, yes, only no thicker. um, Uproar says, "Cool. Can I borrow that?" It probably doesn't work anymore. Eric Hawkins says, "Oh my God, you still have one?" I have a whole. I have two cases of them because that's where all my old software is. They're all on those floppy disks. Pro says no one has a computer that can run that. I do. It's just not plugged in anymore. I replaced it with my current decade-old computer. But I still have all my computers from when I first got one. I think my first computer was a was a Mac clone from Power Computing because Macs were too expensive, and so I bought a Mac clone, and I get I guess they're kind of rare, but I still have it. I have all my computers. So far, I only have three, but you know they last about a decade each, and then they're too old for the software that's coming out, and then I have to replace them. So unfortunately, because they cost a pretty penny. Jeff Potts says, I miss the days of floppies. I don't because they didn't hold much information, especially the 5.5 ones. I think they only held like 512 kilobytes. I mean, they were like close to worthless. Um, I was happy when it came out with zip drives back in the 90s. Those held anywhere from I think they held anywhere from like 4 MB to 16, sometimes 32. So they were much better. Oh yeah, and they had SideQuest drives. Oh my gosh, those were like giant 8-track tapes, and they were a pain in the butt. Jeff Haas says DSDD, double-sided, double density. Yeah, yeah. Good times, good times. All right, let's try to clean some of this stuff up. I wish I could find a shortcut for this, but it's good enough. This is good enough for now. I'll figure out later on. Why is that so? This is okay. Is that two of them? Nope, it's only one. That's good.
Here, in a greatly simplified form, we have the four elements needed in every timepiece.
Oops. Hold on. Ellen Cole says, "Oh, just a floppy disk then." Well, we call them floppy disks anyway. Yeah. I can't remember what the other ones were called that were bigger and thinner. The bigger, thinner ones were called floppy disks as well. And then when the ones that you're talking about came out, I guess they just called them floppy disks as well. Um, I just to differentiate them. I I tend not to call them that, but they're both floppy disks. It's just that one is 3.5 inches, which is the ones that you're familiar with, and then the bigger, thinner ones and floppier ones were 5.5 inches, and they're just older versions of them. Ellen says, "Thank you for the interesting field trip." Yes, field trip through time, through nerddom. Um, Jeff Pod says, "My first computer was a Sinclair ZX81 that had to solder together myself. I then owned two Timex Sinclair 1000s. I have no idea what those are." Wow, that's cool. No, your terminology was right, Helen. It's just, Jeff Pond says that was back when all of this stuff was fun. I think it's all still fun. It's just a different type of fun. Um, I think you had to know a lot more about computers in order to do that sort of stuff back then. Nowadays, you still have to know something, but I think it's easier to sort of put together your own computer. I mean, a lot of the stuff is just sort of pre-made, and then you just have to put the components together. I don't know. Eric Hawkins says my first flash drive was 84 megabytes and cost $80. Wow, wow. Yeah, flash drives cost a lot of money for a while. Um, it was weird. Yeah, because I used to sell them on eBay, and what I would do is I would wait till like a sale came out on at Office Depot, and I would find a coupon, and then I would like go to the Office Depots, and I would all local Office Depots, and I buy them and I sell them on eBay for like twice as much money. And Colson, I remember my dad buying an 8 gigabyte computer and being told he would never be able to use all of it in his lifetime. Huh? Is he still trying to fill it up? Probably, probably not. Um, Vic says, "Damn, great looking comic book, Jimmy. Who's it for?" This is Nasser's comic book. I didn't draw it. I'm just doing the lettering. So um, I don't know who the artist is, but Nasser's keeping it a big secret. So I'm just doing the lettering for this comic book. And so if you like the way it looks, and you're right, it's a great looking comic book. I mean, if you see the rest of it, it's really really well drawn. The link to Creepsters is in the description below the video, this live stream. So go down there and back it because Nash going to close the Indiegogo campaign once I'm done with the lettering, and I'll be done probably in the next 2 weeks. So I would not wait. It's 86 pages, so it's a lot of comic book. So go over there and go to the link in the description and go back Creepsters. Jeff Paz says, "I write software for a living. Trust me on this one." I was talking about putting the actual computer together, not programming. So programming is tough. I used to um, design my website by just doing HTML back in the 90s. Probably from the 90s till around 2010, and then it just got to a point where the the programming became such a headache, and just the way websites were set up, it changed so much and so quickly. The learning curve was too high for me to keep up. They started getting into CSS, and then you had to worry about um, the size changing depending on what platform you're looking at it on, looking at it on a phone or looking at it on your tablet or whatever. And all that stuff was just it's too much for me. I finally just gave up trying to program it myself and just what do I do now? I use the sort of the WYSIWYG software that comes with my web hosting. It's much easier. It's drag and drop, but you have to tweak it a lot. But it's much easier than actually typing in code and everything. So at least for me. Vic says, okay, I thought you lowered your quality big time for it. No, I like this artwork. It's pretty cool. Sort of like anime esque. Hey, Yash, how you doing? Good seeing you. You staying out of trouble? Your wife keeping you out of mischief? Hope you're doing well. Looks like the major news outlets don't care about 2,000 mules. That's unfortunate. What's 2,000 mules? I must not care about it either because I don't know what it is. Is that a new movie? What is 2,000 mules? I'm unfamiliar with it. Yes, see what I mean? I guess so. Because I don't know what it is. Have 2,000 mules like attacked someone, or are they? What's going on? They are donkey and horse hybrids. Yes, I understand that, but what are they up to? What scheme are they plotting that I'm unaware of because the major news outlets are hiding it from us? I want to be prepared for when these mules try to take over the planet. It'd be like Planet of the Apes, but with mules. Oh no. Okay, when I get a chance, I will look up 2,000 mules on YouTube. I'm scared. I'm scared to find out about the 2,000 mules. Oh, whoa. Missed that. I missed that. Let me change this to that. There we go. Much better. No, it's mule poop. It's not horse poop. Yash says, Jason, haven't you joined Truth Social yet? Come on, man. I don't have time. Yash, I've had to like limit the number of what is it, social media I'm part of because there's so many of them now. I can't keep track of them. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What else? Um, Discord. What else? YouTube. That's 5 of them right there, and I can't even keep up with all those. So I'm like, the only ones I really pay attention to are Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I I'm barely on Discord. Even though I'm following like a ton of people on Discord, I'm never on there because it just takes up too much time. All this stuff takes time. I'm looking at the. I need to look at live chat because I'm looking at top chat and I think I'm missing stuff. Um, let's see. Oh, yeah, as Brandon would say. Okay, I was like, "Who's Brandon?" I was like, "Did I miss someone named Brandon talking in the chat?" You're talking about President Brandon. Okay, gotcha. Um, it's late. I'm confused. Vic says, Jeff Potts, is there any monsters in your book? Vampires, things like that, or just ghosts? Are there ghosts in your book? I thought there were. I thought they were like real physical monsters. Maybe not. Oh, Helen Cole has a channel. Helen Cole. Wow, your channel is super successful. It's cool of you to visit this small channel. Very cool. Oh, cool. Now I'm gonna have to check out Helen Cole's channel. I'll do that later on after this. Um, Vic says you are a guest artist for Mike's NFTs. Who is? Who's a guest artist for Mike's NFTs? I'm I'm yet again confused. All right, let me get back to lettering. What time is it? Okay, it's 10. Sorry, 2:30. Oh, are you a guest artist for Mike's NFTs? You asking me? Okay, sorry, my brain. I am not. No, Mike has not asked me, so which is fine. I'd like to be, but it's up to Mike. So I don't really have like a distinctive sort of art style, and that's probably what Mike's looking for in terms of artists. Everyone who's doing guest arts for his NFT stuff have very distinctive styles. I mean, you can easily tell, Kevin Sharp stuff from Matt Cossins and Matt Cossins from um, like Siege. So Alpha Bro says, "Dang, my mistake. The picture icon for Helen Cole was really small. I thought she was Helen Colebrook. She could be. I don't know. I'm just glad she's here." Because I will take all the viewers and subscribers I can get. So even if Helen Cole is not famous, I am happy that she's here. Just like I'm glad that all of you are here. So hey, if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I should probably say that from the beginning. Dagnabbit. I've forgotten. I have been neglectful in terms of feeding my channel. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications of future videos. It'd be a big help. I'd appreciate it. Bam, there we go. Now I know how to say it every 5 minutes. Read the stream banner at the bottom, the ticker taking across the screen. Oh, the shadow spirit in Jeff Potts' book. Cool. Creatures that are mutated from human victims and zombies raised from tombs. Very cool. There's also a shape-shifting evil conjurer. Awesome. Helen Cole says, "Me and my one video and 3 followers. See, she is famous. I knew it. My books are on other YouTubers' videos, but pretty much zilch on mine. Hmm. I'm still gonna look at your channel and probably subscribe so that you will have 4 followers. Um, Everybody, go follow Helen Cole so she gets more than 3 followers. That would be awesome. There are 3 people watching. Hopefully, you will get 3 more subscribers out of this. Vic says your Hobbit and Spider piece is a drawing that I think about every day. I can't believe that was done with zero reference. It came out looking so official. Well, there aren't any actual hobbits, so um, and spiders are kind of scary. So, Jeff says the next book has 2 monsters in it. One is called a Night Airy, and the second that is inspired by an African legend I learned about some time ago. Cool, 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 cool. Oh yeah, Jeff, post a link to your book, The Reverend and the Tomb, in the chat, so people know where to buy it or buy the audiobook, if you would. I don't know who Helen Colebrook is. I'll have to look her up as well. Huh. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Oops, messed up. There we go. It's better. Hmm. Interesting. There we go. Hmm. Yes, that's better. Hmm. There we go. Better. Ah, uh, Vic says, Jiminy, do you think I'm capable of ever writing a book that tells you the brain size? Mine probably looks like a raspberry. Okay. I don't mind drawing, inking, coloring, or lettering a comic. When I have to do them all, that is when things start to slow down. Well, yeah, the more work you have to do, the longer it's going to take. I would offer to color Mr. Miller's book, but I'm a perfectionist. I can't do a page a day. Yeah, you'd have to probably do more than a page a day for Mike's book. I would imagine. I mean, I mean, colorists have to work fairly quickly. I think you can't you have to do more than a page a day. I'm guessing, and I find coloring the hardest part of illustration. It definitely takes me a long time to color. I usually have to allot twice as much time to color that than I do for penciling and inking. It's just more time consuming, more difficult for me. But I think if you're a colorist, you have to be able to work faster than a page a day for comic books anyway.
Why didn't you take care of that ratty kid like I told you? You meant smack it to the marshal? No, we really got our heads in a noose. Suppose the old man's dead when they find you. He's dead, he can't talk, can he? No, it's worse if he's alive. Blast you, Hattie. Can't you do anything right? Who should I blame? I didn't set Marshall on our trail. It don't matter now if it did. What if he didn't?
Helen says, I'll go check it out. Helen Cole is actually my pen name. One of my best friends saw my picture in my book and said, maybe you don't think so, but I think this Helen Cole looks just like you. Cool.
All right, get your hands up out of there.
Cool, cool, cool.
Hands up in the air. And don't try anything. Such a pathetic
I
thing.
noticed you skipped over my suggestion. LOL, says Yash. What suggestion was it? I missed it. Now I gotta go back. What was your suggestion, Yash? Scrolling, scrolling. I don't see. Last thing I see from you is you said, as Brandon would say. And then you asked before that, have you joined Truth Social yet? And I said no. What suggestion did you make, Yash, that I'm missing? Yeah, you're gonna have to. Alpha Proto says, "Yeah, I'm too slow to be a person of color." You are confusing the heck out of me. I don't know what you guys are saying. um, Vic says, "I know a good colorist who doesn't erase ink or pencil details. He does a super pro J and Cleto stuff." I'm not sure who Jay Anacletos is. Yash says, YouTube is censoring my link to 2,000 views I gave you. Okay. Well, I'll look it up later. So don't worry about it. I'll look it up on YouTube later. Now is not the time, Yash. Now is not the time. Um, you don't accept Dogecoin though. He should. Dogecoin is going to the moon. You wait. It is the next big thing in cryptocurrency. Not that I know anything about cryptocurrency, but it's the next big thing. If Elon Musk backs it, you know it's big. It's the next Tesla. It's the next Twitter. It's the next, what does he own? Do he own SpaceX? I think he does. It's the next Mamma Jamma. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Nope, that's not it either. Dang, damn it. Brr. That's what I wanted. All right, now trim this. Boink. And I think this goes in front. It does. And trim this. Boink. There we go. Now, okay, that's the right size. That's the right size. Very good, very good. No, we got a special effect. Alfredo says using a pen name is a good way to get honest criticism from people you know. Hey, read this book by blank and let me know what you think of it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yash says, Jason, 2,000 Mules is about proof of massive election fraud, like real and shocking proof. It was a documentary made by Dinesh D'Souza, and he got the information from a legitimate intelligence agency. Okay, I'll check it out later. He says, let me look at this guy and send him the mic. Really, Case is all right too. Sometimes when she don't phone it in, but she's busy now. Let me look at what guy. But yeah, she's a great artist. I love her stuff. Her stuff is very interesting. I mean, she's a really good artist, but it's kind of kind of in the kind of in the kink vein in a sense, which can be interesting, but you know, I guess it just depends. But she's a really good artist. So you guys gonna watch the new Doctor Strange movie that came out today? Doctor Strange and the Method of or Multiverse of Madness. I saw it and it is very good. It is very good. If you are a comic book fan, you should be very pleased with it. So, and if you're not a comic book fan, you probably still like it. But it's very good, and it's very not very, but it's it's much more of a horror type movie than the other Marvel movies because it's directed by Sam Raimi. So. The same guy who directed the Evil Dead series back in the 80s. He also directed the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. So he knows both horror and superheroes, and he's a very good director. So I encourage everybody to check it out. Alfredo says he directed Darkman too. Yes, he did. He directed, he directed a lot of stuff. Darkman was sort of a poor man's Shadow, but I was very happy when it came out because I was like, oh, cool. This is what the Shadow should look like. Then they made a Shadow movie, and I was like, oh man, I wish this was more like Darkman. Vic says, or you said Sam Raimi did the new Marvel movie? Yeah, he did. He did the new Doctor Strange movie. He says, do you think Scarlet Witch will return? Well, she's in the trailer, so I'm guessing yes. Actually, I'm not guessing. I saw the movie. The answer is yes. She returns. But she's in the trailer, so. But yeah, it's a very good movie. Okay, I got your message, Yash. So I will check it out later. Yeah, for Proto, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us, keeping me company. Appreciate it. Vic says, no, I mean in the future. She probably will, I'm guessing. Vic says, I got some questions for you on Doctor Strange. I need answer. Well, I can't, no spoilers. No spoilers, Vic. Hey, sorry, no spoilers. Do not ruin the movie for other people. But it's a good movie. I encourage everybody to go check it out. Any good horror movies come out lately? Yeah, Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness, the new Marvel movie. Go check it out.
This is the point where most people long for a road trip. Cover unlimited variety. The finest in sound and performance. This makes precisely limited for effect. They have to be purchased.
One other movie is a good comparison to Doctor Strange 2. Maybe The Boys. Nah, I wouldn't compare it to The Boys. The Boys is very. Doctor Strange is. It's not like The Boys. The Boys is very. I don't want to say gross, but it is. It's. I mean, it's. And yeah, it's no, it's not. It's not. The Boys is rated R. I mean, Doctor Strange 2 is not rated R. It's a PG-13 movie. Uh, Yesh says that's fantasy action, not horror. Well, you got to watch it. Um, Vic says, wasn't there gore in the Boys? Yeah, that's what I said. It's rated R. I mean, there's stuff in Doctor Strange, but it's not nearly as psycho as the Boys. The Boys and I wouldn't even call the Boys not isn't horror. It's just kind of like gross action, you know. I mean, Doctor Strange is much more horror than, I mean, because there are scary aspects to it. The boys isn't scary. It's um it's just violent, violent action. Which is fine, but you know, I'm not I'm less enthused about something like the boys than I am with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange to me is creepy, it's cool, and it's fun. The boys is just sort of just like violent mayhem for its own sake, in a sense. I'm excited for the tease of all these cool characters that might come out again in the future. Um, with what, the boys? I've only seen one trailer for the second season. It was the second, no, third season of the boys. Um, I mean, it's a good show, but it's I don't know. I like it, but I don't know. I'm just I don't know. I don't know. I start, I'm like I'm sort of rambling here. The boys is okay, but I don't I find it I don't find it super entertaining. You know, it's just kind of like I watch it for I think it's just it's more shock than substance. Does that make sense? And plus, I think my problem with the boys is that there's no one really to root for. They're all kind of just dirtbags, you know. So it's like I don't really like any of the characters. I mean, I some of the characters are entertaining, but there's no one like that I find likable on that show. They're all in one way or another. They're all dirtbags. Yes says Terrifier is probably the best horror movie I've ever seen. It's very violent. Stephen King's It is like Ronald McDonald compared to the Clown and Terrifier. I've never heard of it. Vic says the this the the guy has Alzheimer's. I don't know. Yesh says Terrifier would probably be way too much for Jason. Probably. I don't. I'm not. I say this as I'm working on a horror comic. I'm not a big fan of horror movies. Some horror movies I like. I like sort of monster movies. Um, you know, like vampire movies. I like werewolf movies. I like you know monster movies. I don't like zombie. I find zombie movies extremely boring because zombies don't have any brains. They're just sort of they're boring. Um, and all the horror aspects to a zombie movie have to deal with the sort of a human on human sort of interactions. Um, I don't find that interesting. I much rather watch like a Freddy Krueger or a um, I like monsters that have sort of brains and they're sort of trying to outwit the humans to get them. Um, but I don't like sort of realistic slasher movies like was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I don't like those at all. So I'm kind of picky with my horror movies. If it's a monster, I'll probably watch it. I'll probably like it. If it's like a sort of a human, I probably won't because I don't like sort of human on human brutality. I'm not. Ugh. It's too realistic. I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. All right. Let's see, how's that look? Yeah, that's good. Vic says, "Did you like Eternals?" No, I thought Eternals was garbage. Terrible movie. None of the characters look like the characters from the comic book. If you showed me a picture of the actors from Eternals in their costumes, I I would never guess those were the Eternals. It's complete nonsense. Terrible movie. Probably the worst. No, Captain Marvel was the worst Marvel movie. Eternals is probably tied or a close second with Captain Marvel, but they're both rock bottom. Just bad movies. Um, Helen Cole says Terrifier sounds awful. I'm pretty wimpy on movies. Interesting. Um, Yash says people who thought they knew what horror was watch Terrifier and realize they don't. Yeah, I'm just yeah. I mean, the scariest movies I've seen. No, not the scariest, but I mean, like a friend of mine is like really into Japanese horror, and I've watched a few of them, but then I just stopped because it's like I can't. I find them really scary, so I just stopped watching them. There's one called Audition, and I was just like, that's enough. It's just too much, too much weirdness. Um, Vic says Eternals had a comic. I just thought they were from Thanos' planet Titan. I like the characters and everything. Yeah, it's based on a Jack Kirby comic book from the 1970s. It's one of my favorite comic books when I was a kid. The Eternals, and they just took that book and they just destroyed it um, in the movie. Just very. I mean, some things that there are some elements that were the same, like the what do they call the Celestials, those big giant robot looking things in the movie. Those are directly from the comic book, but the Eternals themselves, they're not from Thanos. They're not from Titan. They just really threw that entire comic book into a blender and just shredded it, and then just slapped together elements from it and made their own dumb movie based on it. It's not like the comic book at all, really. Most of the characters have been either race or gender swapped um, in that movie. So you know they don't they're nothing like the characters that Jack Kirby created, and to me that's a fail. It's like making a Superman movie, but Superman is a is a Japanese midget in a wheelchair, and instead of being a reporter, he he works as a high school teacher, and Lois Lane is the principal, and Jimmy Olsen is the milkman who he sees every morning before he goes to work. That's basically what they did with the Eternals. It made no sense. Hey, Jeff Potts, you have a good night. Thank you for posting the link to Reverend and the Tomb. And I again encourage everybody to check it out. And yeah, check out the audio tape, buy a copy of the book. It's I've heard I think one of the chapters Jeff Potts provided a an audio link to it, and it was very good. So everybody, check it out. Zimbo says, Yash says, Texas Chainsaw is nothing compared to Terrifier. Terrifier is almost its own genre. Okay, cool. I probably wouldn't like it. I didn't really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was too violent. Too much. I saw it in seventh grade. The our seventh grade science teacher showed it in class, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not a fun movie. Don't you have Popeye? Don't you have any Popeye cartoons you can show instead? But no, we got Leatherface instead. Vic says, really, I hate the part about Celestials creating the universe and using the Eternals to guard the planets or whatever. Is that how it is in the comic? Nope, it's not. That's complete. Again, it's completely made up nonsense. Um, and for the movie. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I watched the movie. And it's like this is nothing like the comic book. So yeah, they yeah, it's a dumb story made by dumb Hollywood writers who obviously didn't care about the source material, and so just wrote whatever nonsense they wanted to. Hmm. Nope, that's not right. Oh, there we go. That's better. Actually, will this work? Let's try this. That does work. That's better. Vic says the scariest movie I ever saw was Tales from the Hood or Leprechaun in Space. That's hilarious. Um, Yash says Terrifier is extremely well made though. I've never seen a creepy movie in my entire life. Okay, cool. Hey, Marie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. You're staying out of jail, staying out of trouble, staying out of mischief. Hmm. Hmm. Nope, that's all right. There we go. It's better. Hmm. All right. Dun 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 dun. Marie says didn't know lettering streams existed. They say, well, they do now. So I just patented them. So anyone who makes a drawing stream after this will have to pay me money because I created them. Vic says, I bet you anything Zimbo can't even watch Leprechaun in Space. It's too much horror for him. Probably. Probably. Left Behind in Space was funny. I like horror movies like that because they're more, they're not scary. They're just silly. So hey Helen, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Helen says she's gonna sneak out too. Yeah, she gets some sleep. I'm glad you had fun watching the stream and taking the field trip through time to look at my old floppy disks and all. I'll probably be live streaming later on in the day, Saturday, maybe Saturday afternoon today, and continue with the lettering of Nasser's book. So, but you have a good night. Take care. Oh wow! Helen has 10 subscribers now. Fantastic, everybody! If you haven't already, go subscribe to Helen Cole's YouTube channel and show her some support. We all need it. Hey Yash, you have a great night. Take care. I'll look at your video, like I said, later on. Okay. Watch out for the disinformation governance board. They're watching. What happened? Why did that magically change fonts? There we go. No, that's all right. Hmm. 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 That's good. Mary says, "What comic is this?" This is Creepsters by Nasser Rabadi. Creepsters. So I'm doing a lettering for it. Rick says, why don't you let her at Bass sabotage him for not letting you do the art? Because then he won't pay me. Marie says, looks better than what I remember. He said the art got much better while doing the art. Yeah, the art is very good for this book. So, I encourage everybody to buy it. It's a well drawn book. I was very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the art, and especially since it's 86 pages. It's a lot of art. Um, you know, for this book, and the artist did a really good job on it. I couldn't have done this well, as quickly as the artist did the. I mean, he did it fast. I mean, this guy's good. So, you know, if you want some decent art, and you're willing to tolerate Nasser's writing, actually, not the writing in the book's pretty good too, which again surprised me. So, Creatures is a better book than you might suspect. Um, so I encourage everybody to check it out. That's not what I want. Everybody says, but F Nasser. He still has me blocked from his chat. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, that could be a problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's Nasser's biggest problem. It's like he leaves money on the table by being goofy to potential customers. So you can't do that. You can't turn people off your book by being jerky towards them. Why is dag nabbit? Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's why. Nope, wrong button. There we go. There we go. Nope. Wrong. That's better. So if remember, he says I asked him why I was banned, and he said he didn't know what I was talking about and just ignored me. It's a good way to lose a sale. Not very wise. I would never do that to you, Fimbri. You are more than welcome to talk in my chat. Hmm. Hmm. Gotta fix that. It's just a little confusing. I mean, this box comes first. You should be reading this first, then this. And right now, because it's on the left-hand side, you read. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Move this down so it's cutting into here. That way, you know that you read this second because it's breaking into the second panel. Mm, mm. That's better. That's better. Remember, he says, I think one of his big lists of moderators banned me. I was one of the three not mod people that watched his live streams. Almost everybody in that chat is a mod. Probably true. I don't know how to. I mean, I'm a mod, but I don't think I can unban you. I think only Nostra can do that. So, but yeah, sorry about that. Because if you're banned, I mean, you wouldn't show up in the chat for for someone to, I don't know how you would do that. I mean, other than being owner of the channel. So Vic says I haven't seen an announcer live stream in months. Well, he had one today, so he has them pretty, fairly often. Vic says, "Do you think Vimri is capable of retaliating in real life for Nasser blocking him?" Vimri says, "I was one of the very few real viewers. The others are just his friends." Oh. Vic King is once again live streaming while I'm live streaming. He knows he shouldn't be doing that. How dare he? How dare Vic King live stream while I am live streaming? Got some nerve. Everybody go over to Vic King's channel right now and rag him for live streaming while I'm live streaming. I'm going over there right now to attack him verbally. I'm live streaming, Vic. Get off the air. There. I gave him what for? I gave Vic what for? Hopefully he'll learn his lesson not to mess with me while I'm live streaming. Let that be a lesson to you, Vic King. Hello? Let's see. There we go.
Somebody yell at the chippy. Probably the Higgs gang. Bring your horse. They're headed for Pine Creek. Guess they're going through the camp. Hurry up and I'll meet you fast.
Memory says I posted that Liam was right about Nasser. Does that count as near real life retaliation? That's pretty close, because everybody knows that Liam Graves to be his word is truth. So anything that Liam says must be correct. But it is now 3:31 in the AM on the East Coast, Saturday. So I'm gonna shut down the stream. It's been about 2 hours since I've been doing this, and I'm gonna continue later on today, so probably in the afternoon sometime. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. There's one person left. Um, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and please hit the bell for notifications of next time I get on to work on this book. Okay, I appreciate you watching. Take care. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Sleep well. Remember, don't get in too much trouble. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.